Octopath Traveler 0 is almost here, and boy is it a treat. I love the new mechanics that they introduced in this prequel, with the 8-person combat shaking up a lot of the strategy that comes into fights, the town building mechanic being a pretty nice reprieve from all the grinding that we have to do to level up, and the structure of the story that now revolves around one protagonist instead of 8. Yes, it does sacrifice a little bit of the character development, and some of the things like path actions have been a little bit more streamlined, which makes it feel more impersonal. However, the game is a blast, and I highly recommend it if you're a fan of JRPGs or story-driven games. However, in this video, I want to look at how it's running on the Steam Deck, and whether this is going to be a great one to play on the go, just like the previous entries in this series. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified as soon as our next video goes live. A copy of the game was provided by Square Enix for review. Thank you. So, as I'm sure a lot of people have guessed, Octopath Traveler 0 is just a treat to play on the Steam Deck. At the default settings, it runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, while draining under 14 watts for over 3.5 hours of battery life. It looks and feels great, and there really isn't much more to say about its performance. It's just really awesome to play. There are some battles I did find that does spike the battery drain up just a little bit more than I expected, but ultimately it will always stay at 60 frames per second. Now, the game defaults to the high quality preset, and while it is possible to move to that ultra preset and still get 60 frames per second, the changes in visual quality were minimal and they do decrease battery life. So I just recommend keeping it at the default high settings. The HD-2D visuals shine on the Steam Deck, especially on that OLED screen, no matter what, so I didn't find any reason to add extra stress on battery drain. However, if you really want to push it as hard as possible, it is possible to play on Ultra, and it will move the battery life to around 2.5 to 3 hours total. So with all this in mind, I would recommend just playing it right out of the box. We can increase battery life further if you want to reduce the frame rate to 30 frames per second in game, or by bringing down the quality settings a little bit more, but for how the game looks, I really just think it should stay the same. It looks and plays great as it is, and honestly, I think it's a perfect addition to the portable library that I can't recommend enough. Now, the game itself does not support 16:10 resolutions, but it does have cloud saves and controller support. However, there are no HDR settings, but it's still probably best to play this on an OLED screen since it really makes the visuals pop. All in all, I really didn't have that much worry that this would run on the Steam Deck. I think all the other games in the past in this franchise have been perfectly playable on the Steam Deck, so I just expected this to pretty much stick around that same, and I'm really glad it does. Octopath Traveler 0 is a fantastic JRPG that is a worthy entry in the series. Despite it missing some of the charm and character development, it's still a fantastic experience with a great combat, compelling story, a solid town management system, and of course the continuation of the wonderful HD-2D visual art style. And of course, with how well it plays on the Steam Deck, this is a perfect game to take with you wherever you go, get some grinding in, and enjoy to the fullest wherever you are. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified as soon as our next video goes live. And a huge thank you to our patrons. You guys are awesome. See you next time.